everybody, and welcome back to my studio, the Pottery Corner, down on the south coast of England near Chichester. Welcome back everybody. I've been away from the YouTube world for a few weeks and I've had lots of lovely messages saying, where are you? Well, I've got American family staying, so things have been a bit sort of hectic. We've been doing lots of days out and showing them our local area and showing them England. So I'm sorry that I've been away, but we're all still back, and as you can see behind me, the students are producing lots of work. That means I'm doing lots of kiln work and lots of kiln openings, etc. So that's what we have for you today. We've got a kiln load of mostly students' work. I can't remember whether there's anything of mine in here. But in the bottom of this kiln are two beautiful seat heads made by Helen, so I'm keen to see how they came out. And I'm going to go through with you how the deer mugs came out from the video a few weeks ago about how to decorate using slip and underglaze transfers. So I've got those here to go through with you. And I've also got a refired mug that I'd like to show you. So let's get this kiln open. I must say that Michelle said to me I'd lost my catchphrase, and she's quite right. Completely forgot to say I have had just the sneakiest of sneaky peeks. So yes, thank you Michelle for reminding me that I do have a catchphrase and I haven't been using it. But yes, I have had just a sneaky peek of the top layer. So I'm going to get this kiln open and we'll see what we've got. Okay, so two things on the top shelf. Pip, one of my newer students, is being very organised and has already made a Christmas plate. So yes, it's September. So I'm going to say prepared, maybe a little early, but I like students that are prepared. The ones I don't like are the ones that leave it till halfway through December and then say they need it for a Christmas present. That's always quite difficult. Right, okay, so she's thrown this plate on the wheel using the slab technique, and I have actually thought that I would do a video on how to make a plate from a slab on the wheel, so I will probably do a video on that to show you how this has been made. But she's sectioned it up and used a combination of glazes on here. This is, now I'm going to say it and then it's going to be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not frosted melon, it's the other one. I'll put it on the screen, you know me, I can't remember all the names of the glazes. But it's quite nice because it's kind of two-tone. Can you see that it's sort of blue and green? And it's a sort of a satin glaze, so it's not a gloss glaze and it's not a matte glaze, it's sort of between the two. So it's really pretty. The name will come to me later, but I can't remember what it is now. This is Deep Sea, Amaco's Deep Sea over the top. Little bit of Snapdragon, little bit of iron luster on the trunk, and then she spotted some colours on the tree to make it look like a decorated Christmas tree. It's really nice, really pretty. So yeah, well done Philippa, she'll be pleased with that. Yeah, good. And as I say, first of the Christmas batch for this year. Next on the top shelf, and the last item on the top shelf, is just a little hand-pinched dish by Helen. This is glazed in the Mayco pink gloss, or gloss pink, one way round or the other way round. I'll put it on the screen. One of the new 2023 stoneware glazes. It's a really lovely pink, and our Helen is a pink girl, so she'll like that. She's coming in later this afternoon. Right, so I'm just going to get this shelf out and we'll see what's on the next layer. Props out as usual so they don't fall onto the work. Right, let's have a see. This is, again, this is Pip's mug. This is hand-built, so she's hand-built a little cup with the handle. So that's got Amaco's ice on the inside and Mayco's moonscape, that's it. Mayco's moonscape on the outside. Really, very pretty. Nice combination that. The Amaco ice is almost identical to the sort of tone of the blue on the outside. So that's a pretty little mug. We were doing some hand building. I think it's always good for people to know how to throw and how to hand build. So that's a little hand built mug. Very pretty. Nice balanced handle, maybe a tad large, But yeah, it sits nicely in the hand. So that's what you want, isn't it, when you make a mug? You want it to sit nicely in your hand. So that's a goodie. Next is, oh, look at that. So yes, this little jug was thrown by Lisa. And lucky for me, I've stood it onto 2 cookies because I did think that this glaze might run. I have used it before. The glaze is Bott's Smoky Quartz and I love it. It's like a mid-grey, silver grey really, with speckles in it. So this is not speckled clay, this is just white stoneware, normal white stoneware clay, and the speckles have come from the glaze. Isn't that pretty? I really like that. I've used it for some pieces that I've got in the house. So it's stood on the top of 2 cookies, one smaller than the circumference of the actual jug itself, and then one underneath it just to hold it up in case it drips. And indeed it did drip very nicely, but it didn't actually touch the kiln shelf. So I'll have to Dremel that drip off of there. And that has probably happened because, of course, the handle is glazed and it's just come down the handle and dripped off the bottom. So a little bit of dremeling, but nothing that's going to cause it a problem. Lovely little jug. Very sweet. Isn't that sweet? For me, and Lisa knows I'm going to say this because we talked about it in the bisque, this handle, what I was saying about the handle sitting nicely in your hand and balancing the pot, this handle doesn't. So if I put my finger in there, and I can only get one of my fingers in there, and I put my thumb there, I am feeling that that isn't stable and it's going to tip. So yes, that handle needed to sort of come out further rather than going down. But Lisa is aware of that. So, but nonetheless, it's a very, very nice jug, and I love that Bott's Smoky Quartz, really pretty glaze. And in fact, I bought a small pot just to try it, and I have bought a good sized pot to keep using it. Right, these are a couple of Claire's bowls. There's a cookie on the bottom of there. Right, okay, well that's interesting. This is Amaco's Weeping Plum. Very nice, actually, very nice. Actually, she's got a good coverage on there. So on the back, I hadn't noticed that Claire had put a transparent glaze, so I've stuck a cookie on there, and I suspect the other one will be the same. So I've got a little bit of tidying up to do on there, but I expect you can see there is actually an S-crack on there as well. So she's getting a little bit of S-cracking because I think she does leave her bases quite thick, and this part is obviously quite thin, and she's getting a little bit of shrinkage cracking as they're drying. So, but it's still a beautiful bowl, very nice. I like that. And the Weeping Plum is coming out slightly pinker because I've reduced the top temperature of my kiln, so it's not burning out quite so much. So we're getting a deeper Weeping Plum, which is good. Next is another one of Claire's, and doubtless we'll have the same. Oh no, that's all right. This one I just put a square cookie on, so that was just as well. This is Amaco's Wasabi, which is that lovely lime green. Very nice. Claire's a very good thrower, and she does beautiful foot rings. Aren't they beautiful? Look really, really lovely. And that's, as I say, Amaco Wasabi 3 coats. Very pretty. And that one doesn't have an S-crack in it, so that's good. But very pretty, lovely, and I suspect that if I put the 2 bowls together, one will sit nicely inside the other. She's very good at making nesting sets. So yeah, they're lovely, very nice. Last thing on this shelf is mine. Woo! So I've been playing with coloured slip. I have this, I really like coloured slip, and having done the tutorial recently on using the coloured slip for decoration, I thought that I would just decorate some beakers rather than making them into mugs with different coloured slips. So this is 3 different coloured slips that I make myself in the studio. There is a video on the channel of how to make slips. It's actually part of the monoprinting trilogy, so I'll stick a card up for you to have a look at that. So I've put 3 different coloured slips on using a henna bottle, so just the little plastic henna bottles with the nozzles on. And then I've put it upside down so that the violet slip has dripped down to give us this lovely sort of raindrop effect. And then of course when you turn it up the other way, they're going the wrong way. And I really like that, that's really pretty. And I've ombre'd the glazes on this, so I've used Amaco's Glacier just around the darker dots, Amaco's Ice around the sort of mid section here, and then this is just Mayco Transparent, and then inside it's Amaco's Deep Sea. Yeah, that's really pretty, isn't it? Isn't that pretty? Nice, and I like the texture on it. I like the way that you get the texture from the actual slip itself. Yeah, pretty, very pretty. Nice ombre glazed on there, like that. Very nice. Right, so let's get this kiln shelf out. Okay, so in this bottom level, as I say, there's the two seed heads that Helen has made. We'll get to those in a moment. First out, I have been making some salt pigs. One of them came out of the kiln, one that I'd thrown. I'm not sure if it was on the video or not. So this is actually a hand-built salt pig, which I've used a textured board to pop the texture on. I like that. It's a wooden pasta board. It was quite expensive. I bought it off of Etsy, but it's got really lovely texture on it, really pretty. So I've just hand built this in 2 pieces, joined it together, and then popped a coil on just for the salt pig mouth. And glazes on there, that is Amaco's Obsidian inside. So it's got a dark black interior. And then again, this is Smoky Bots on here. And again, I've left a perimeter around the bottom, and you can see that the smoky quartz has actually dripped down again. So I might have to just take that little bit off of there. But yeah, pretty, isn't it? Very pretty. And in fact, as I look into the kiln, on the kiln shelf, guess what? three little spots of glaze where it's caught on the kiln shelf. So that's annoying, but nonetheless, it'll come off with a Dremel. So yes, pretty little salt pig, rather like that. That's mine. Pop that over there. Next out is Claire's. Now, I've got to try and remember and I've done the same thing here. She's popped a transparent glaze on the bottom and I've put a cookie on it because I didn't know it was there. So I'll have to get that off. Nice jug, very nicely thrown as normal with Claire's things. Now, can I tell what the glaze combination is? Well, I should be able to because she usually writes it down for me. What do we think that is? I think that is, yes, so 3 coats of obsidian with 1 coat of seaweed in a band around the top, as you can see, and then smoky merlot underneath it, and then sort of drips on as well to get a bit thicker smoky merlot. Yeah, pretty. That's pretty, isn't it? So the seaweed does a lovely job on the rim and down into the inside. That's pretty, isn't it? Really pretty. And the smoky merlot goes this lovely sort of heathery purpley colour over the top of obsidian, so you do get this different colour. Yeah, it's really pretty. And Claire pulls her handles, lovely handle. And again, you know, when you hold it, it's balanced. Really nice, lovely spout on it. Very lovely jug. Yeah, good. And I will try and deal with my mistake of putting a cookie on the bottom. It'll come off. We'll sort that out. If it doesn't, actually, it's not too bad. Right, so last thing in the bottom of this kiln are Helen's 2 large, well, 1 large, 1 medium seed heads. So I'll wrestle one of them out and we'll have a look and see how much mess they've made of my kiln shelf. Oh yes, they have. Right, let's have a look. So I put them on sacrificial cookies, as you can see. So this is the medium-sized one, which in the kiln process has nicely fallen over in my kiln. So this is how it's been sat in the kiln, And this is why I say to the students that they must stand up in the kiln, because when the kiln work happens, they fall over and they throw their glass all over my kiln shelf, which it has done. And it's over the sacrificial cookie as well. So this isn't too bad because I can just throw this away and it doesn't matter. Luckily for Helen, it hasn't damaged her piece. I've got to do a little bit of dremeling on here with this sharp glass, but luckily for her, she still has some glass on here, although obviously most of it is now A, on the sacrificial cookie, and B, on my kiln shelf. So this is craft crank clay. There is a whole tutorial series in 3 parts of how to make your own sculptural poppy heads, so check that out. I'll pop it on the end so that you can find it. So yes, this is beautiful, and actually the glass has kind of, although it's lost most of its glass on the top, and obviously where it's hit the side of the kiln, this particular petal has bent up, but actually I don't mind that, quite like that. But yeah, she's lost most of the glass in the top because obviously it's all come out, but nonetheless a very pretty head. And if I sit it down on its side like so, you can see that it sits. So yes, it's very nice. Lovely, she'll be pleased with that. She's in this afternoon. Now the other one, we'll hope hasn't made quite such a mess. Let's just get that out. Right, okay, so this one is bigger, as you can see. Now this one didn't have quite such a pool to put the glass, and I suspect that you'll be able to see how much glass is actually on that sacrificial cookie underneath. So you can see how much of the glass actually flows off, and if it's not on a sacrificial cookie, would indeed be on my kiln shelf. But again, she's got quite nice drippage on here, although only on one side. As always, and as I say on the tutorial video, the glass will find the lowest point and it will flow out of that lowest point. But this is a different take with the head. Quite like that, really pretty, and the oxiding's good on it as well. So yeah, they're a nice pair. I'm just going to pop that behind, and I will knock off that cookie later, and I'll let you have a look into the bottom of my kiln. Deep joy, we shall be dremeling. So there you are, as you can see, a lovely pool of glass from the head. I'll hope that that hasn't actually gone down onto the kiln shelf itself. There are the little knobs of the smoky quartz. There is a piece of glass from the other one here. So as you can see, my kiln shelves do take a little bit of a knocking. Right, so that's your lot in the actual kiln today. But I wanted to show you a few bits and pieces that have come out of the kiln that I haven't actually been able to film. So you might remember 2 or 3 kiln openings ago maybe, I took this mug out. This is one of my new favourite combinations, which is Mayco's Stoneware Gloss Coral. And then on the outside is Amaco's Oatmeal. And in the original firing, I put just a tiny layer of the Elements Glaze Amber Ash, which pinholed all the way round the rim, which is of course the place on a mug where you definitely don't want pinholes. Well, you don't want them at all, but you definitely don't want them where your mouth is going to go. So as it was so pretty, what I decided to do was just to add some Amaco's Ancient Jasper, which again is another glaze that will pull. So I sprayed a little bit of hairspray on the mug, on the top of the mug, just a little bit. I didn't want it running wet with hairspray, but just sprayed a little bit. And then the hairspray allows the glaze to hold in that place so that it doesn't bead up as it would bead up on a gloss surface. And then I've just added probably about not quite a centimetre, as you can see, of the Ancient Jasper all the way around, and then just refired it through another glaze kiln. And the pinholes, I'm pleased to say, are gone, as you can see, and the Ancient Jasper has done its thing and pulled down a little bit into the oatmeal. and the oatmeal itself has gone a little bit further because it's been refired in another kiln, and you get this beautiful sort of haloing, which I love. I love that. It's really nice. So from a mug that I couldn't use because of the pinholing, it's now usable. Nice spiral handle, and again there's a video on how to make spiral handles and apply. So yeah, saved. Really pretty, isn't that lovely? I love that gloss coral, one of my very favourites. And a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I did the tutorial on how to decorate the deer mugs. So I thought I would just show you these now that they are out of the kiln. So this is the green version. So this has got underglaze stencil, the brown beech trees, and then I've underglazed using the masks that are on my friend Karen's Etsy page, some deer, as you can see. Yeah, they've come out pretty well. I think probably I should have put a little bit more underglaze on. You can see them, they are there, but I think maybe I needed to have used a stronger mix of colours on there to get that to stand out more. So that one's good. This one's got the blue slip underneath, and then the masks are put on, and then the underglaze transfers are put on, and then the masks are taken off to see the blue slip underneath. Yeah, nice. I like this one. This one's really pretty with this violet slip over the top. And I did put just a few dots of pale underglaze on the top just so that they looked a little bit more like deer. Yeah, really nice. I'm really pleased with that one. That one's come out really nicely, a lovely colour. So you can make your slips in whatever colour you want them to be using the high fire pigments. And again, that's all explained in another video, so have a look at that. So that's my bits that I just wanted to catch up with you. And then we have quite a lot of shout outs today, so we'll have a look at those. Right, okay, so first out we've got a message from Sharon Peake, who's from Gaffney. Not sure where Gaffney is, I'm sure it must be America. So she said, I picked up my Hydrangea necklaces today. She's used some glass frit that she bought from me on Etsy. So there is a hydrangea kit in my Etsy shop. The link into the Etsy shop's in the description below. So you can buy the pack, the cutters and the glass and the template and everything to make your own hydrangea heads. Well, Sharon decided that she was going to use real hydrangea to imprint her clay and make some necklace pendants. Aren't they pretty? So yeah, really pretty, really nice. I like that. And she's used a little bit of glass on the top, and then she's popped a little bit of Amaco pear actually on the centres so that you can see. They're really pretty, aren't they? Very nice. Oh, they're the wrong way up, sorry, that way up. Yeah, lovely. Thank you for sending me that, Sharon. Really kind. This is from Laura in Minden in Germany. So again, Laura bought the kit from my Etsy shop and said, here are talking about the hydrangea heads. So she's made some hydrangea heads from the kit and the tutorial that's on the channel. I've made 3 so far. Number 1 is the first one. I used underglaze to give it more colour. As I was learning with the underglaze, I feel I got better by number 3. And yes, I'd agree with that, Laura. Number 1, she's sort of used quite a high colour and then reduced it down to this sort of more subtle colour by the time she got to doing the third one. And then she said that when she's cut out the clay, the porcelain with the cookie cutter, she's just pinched down the edges a little bit to make them look a little bit more delicate. So you can see the progression from the first one I did to the third. So yes, that's always the way with potters, isn't it? We kind of learn along the way. So yes, they're very nice, Laura, thank you. And I did blow up the picture of the third one just so that you could see how pretty that is. Really well done. Yeah, that's lovely. Isn't that lovely? So yes, there's the whole tutorial, 3 steps again on how to make your hydrangea heads. And I just thought that I would show you one of my students who made a couple of seed heads in class a little while ago. Leslie sent me a picture of her poppy heads, seed heads in situ in the gravel. Don't they look wonderful? Really, really pretty. So that's another interpretation of the same project. And I thought this was a fabulous photo because it really shows how beautiful the glass is on the top. Isn't that lovely? It's shiny, and when the water goes on it from the rain, you get a lovely beading of water. So yeah, they're lovely, and they stay out all year round. People say to me, do you really leave your poppies out all year round? Yes, I do. They stay outside in England all year round. And I've had poppy heads that have been outside for years and years and years. So those were lovely, and I just thought I'd share those with you. Kay Chandler said that she's bought the Wonky Pot template and indeed the Skyline Luminaire template. So she's been having fun making those. I love this. I love wonky pots. What's so endearing about a wonky pot is that everybody can put their own personality. So a beautiful textured wonky pot there on nice little feet. Very, very nice. It looks lovely with a succulent in, doesn't it? Very nice. And then she's made the Skyline Luminaire. Again, there are templates for both of these projects and step-by-step tutorials on the channel. And then used the tree. I love this. Isn't that pretty? Nice for Christmas with a little cottage on and snow scene. Very pretty. Yeah, so those are lovely, Kay. Thank you for sending me those. What does she say in her message? The wonky pot is glazed with Amaco ironstone. Yeah, very nice, isn't it? Isn't that nice? I like that. Very pretty. And the luminaire was made with Studio Buff clay. So she popped a white slip on it. So yes, you can see that it's got white slip on it, but very, very nice. Lovely. So well done, Kay. And I, oh yeah, she put Kay from Margate brackets the coffee spiller, because she said when she heard her name on the shout out on a previous video, she nearly spilt her coffee. So I hope I've made you spill your coffee again, Kay. And thanks for taking the time to send me a message. This one is from Sue Owen in Anglesey. So she said, I thought I would send you a pic of the poppy head you inspired me to make. It's firstly manganese, so she's used a manganese oxide and then wiped it off and then glazed in what her teacher says, odds and sods, odds and sods glaze, quite like that, recycled from various projects, so a mix of everything. And this is really lovely too. Yeah, well done, Sue. Isn't that nice? Nice top on there, lovely texture. Again, a lovely poppy head. Look lovely in the garden. So Sue, thank you for sending me that. Going back a little way, we were talking about the hundreds and thousands confetti glaze and whether or not it was food safe. And I had there were lots of messages, and I hope that if you watch that video, you've had time to read the comments because it was really useful. And Heidi Dickinson, thank you, Heidi, sent me a missive that she sent a question to Amaco, to David, one of the technical support men at Amaco. Now, there's a very large reply from Amaco as to whether or not putting different layers of different glazes then makes them unfood safe. I personally am of the feeling that if a glaze is food safe in the first place, when it's layered with another food safe glaze, it should be fine. But Amaco, of course, are probably, shall we say, covering themselves to say that that might not be the case. And I presume that they do that so that if anybody should happen to fall down dead from food poisoning from somebody using an Amaco glaze layered with another Amaco glaze with another Amaco glaze, that they don't get sued. That's my feeling. I'm not sure that's right, but that's how I feel about it. But Heidi very kindly forwarded me a copy of this rather long explanation, and if anybody wants it and would like to know what Amaco have to say about it, just pop me an email and I can send you this copy of this text. So thank you, Heidi, for taking the time to do that. I said on a number of videos ago that somebody had sent me this and I thought it was Virginia, but I was wrong because Carolyn Pierce has said actually it was my hydrangeas I'm sorry that the email didn't, yeah, it was a funny email, so it didn't come through with the name on it. So this is some of Carolyn Pierce's Students' Hydrangea Heads. So aren't they lovely? It's really nice. Thank you, Carolyn, for sending me those, and I'm sorry that I didn't have your name on those in the first place. Right, that's your lot. As you can see, in a minute, when I have finished filming, I shall be repacking another glaze kiln. So there's always things to do here. Oh, I'll just tease you with a beautiful piece that one of my girls has made. Let me just pick it up very carefully off of the shelf. Pip is making these beautiful chicken dishes. Aren't they lovely? Look at this. So this is white clay with black and coloured slip, red and yellow slip, sgraffitoed. So I'm shouting out to my pottery sister Monique, inspired by your beautiful sgraffito that you do on your channel. I'll put Monique's channel under here. So Pottery Sister, we are using your techniques in our classes, and Pip has made this. It'll come out of the glaze kiln in a few times away. It's not bisque fired yet, but I just thought I'd tease you with it. Isn't it beautiful? Anyway, that's all from me today. Thank you very much as ever for watching. I'll stick a couple of options on the end for you to have a look at if you've not seen them before. And I'll see you all on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.